Yes, my people, what's good? Are we winning? Your boy Big C, Panda Gang. I hope we're winning what you are telling me. I hope you're all going to have a good weekend and enjoy the sunshine in the UK. Listen, okay, so I kind of want to jump into it straight away, in it. And like, my problem with the music industry today, in it, is it's like, with Splice and Tracklib and a lot of these sample websites, basically, like, we all knew it was coming. But it's finally here. And it's the whole, like, how can you copyright, a sample that's royalty free? You get me? And what I mean by this, for the people that don't know what I mean, is like, say you go on a site like Splice, which is royalty free samples. For those that don't know, you go on to Splice, it's royalty free samples. You pay a subscription fee. You pay like $12 a month, and you get 100 downloads of royalty free samples, innit? Panda Gang. Yeah. So listen, so you pay for these 100 samples or whatever it is. Say I download, because I use Splice, or I did use Splice. I'm not using it anymore, but we'll get into that. So you download a guitar loop. Say you download a guitar loop. Then Mr. Joe Blogs, who thinks he's important because he's signed to a major label, downloads the same guitar loop and uses it on his song. Now basically the major labels are trying to go against Splice and say, well, that's our sample now, but it's royalty free. It's made for everyone. So like, unless you're getting these samples and chopping them up and, you know, making them uniquely your own now, like pitch shifting them and really changing them, like the game's changed basically. Like this is the game changing. I'm noticing that the paradigm of things shift. You get me? And this is my problem with sites like Splice, it, Carl. Like, obviously, like, you go on there, you might download something, you might make a beat. Like, I've made loads of beats off Splice. Like, a lot of my drums is a bit different. Like, obviously, you can't really download a copyright, a drum sample, really, that's royalty free anyway. You get me? Like, a lot of people and producers, I don't, but a lot of producers, you know, sample off vinyl records. That's where it used to come from. And no one ever notices, especially with EQ and compression. You know, you kind of make them your own. But with royalty-free samples, like, a lot of people have just been downloading beats. So what that means for unsigned and independent artists like myself, if Mr. Joe Blogs uses the same guitar loop that you've used, now you can't use it, even though it's royalty-free. Yeah, and you will get flagged and you will get copyrighted. It's happened to me before. I bought a beat off a producer for £100. You know, we were like, oh, cool, friends along the way. I thought she was cool. I was like, yeah, cool, let's get going. I asked her, I was like, is there any samples in this beat? She's like, no, it's all royalty free. Anyway, that track got copyrighted. I'm like, huh? How can this be copyrighted if it's royalty free? So I messaged the producer. She says, oh no, it's got samples in it. I took it out of a pack. What she had done, and this is why producers can't be lazy either anymore, yeah, she just took the samples out of this pack that another producer made and basically tried to shift it as her own beat. You're a lame. I'll never forget that. You get what I'm saying? But friends along the way hits hard. So, you know, I might just have to remake it one day. But, you know, I genuinely paid for that. I'm royalty free. But getting back to the subject at hand with Splice, it's not looking good. You know, it's not looking good, bruv. Cause essentially now what that means is, like, once the sample's been used, you can't use it anymore. Like, and it's already getting mad enough with sample based stuff as it is, you know. And like, a lot of people are using Splice. Like, a lot of people are using it, especially with that, the whole AI generated singing it. So. And it's why I don't mess with sites like Tracklib either. They're good in theory, and they are what I would like from a music subscription thing. But the thing is, they're not future proof. Like De La Soul, like, is the lead example. Basically, they produced an album in the 80s, 90s, and because they didn't future proof it for, like, the internet and stuff like that, because no one knew what was gonna happen. You can't predict the future. That album is only really available on vinyl and YouTube, but they're not earning any money off it off YouTube. That's just people that have ripped it from the vinyl or CD, etc., cassette, and put it online. And the thing is with Tracklib is a sample-based subscription service. So it's like, you know, say there's a Gregory Isaac song or a Stevie Wonder song up there. Basically, you can sample a set time depending on how much royalties you want to pay of the sample and use it. But like I'm saying, it's not future proof. And if someone's used the same sample, and unless, like, you're creative with it, because a lot of people, you know, you hear something and you want to use it in it, but these days are going in it. So basically, what's the plan then for independent artists like me, probably like a lot of you that are watching? Basically, in actuality, what we're going to have to do is just start getting more creative. Like, I've decided now, other than drum samples, but I'm even going to be making my own drums in it, cause like, you know, I want people to be able to sample my music. I want it to be 100% me. So like, literally, other than the songs I've already got, and I'm gonna release that. Be Lucky has a sample in it from Splice. You know, that's my next song that, you know, you'll probably hear it by the time you watch this, or another time. You know, if you're watching this in a couple of days or once, years, whatever, that song's already out. But that's a sample from Splice. So basically, I'm saying basically a lot. Basically, like, I'm just gonna start creating more stuff myself. Like, Champagne Dance was pretty much all originally me. You know, I'm just gonna have to get more into sound design and making everything myself. Cause, you know, even like Weekend Schema, the next song I'm gonna release, that's all me. Cause, do you know what it was? I literally looked and I was, I need something that's completely organically me. You get me? I need something that's 100% me, that's 100% authentic me, that no one can say like, oh, this is a sample, or they can do it, because it's all originally created from me in it. So anyone that sees Weekend Schema, like I'm saying, as long as it's not dissing me or anything like that, you can feel free to copyright to sample that, as long as you're not trying to copyright it yourself and say that no one can use it. You get me? Car, you know, free use. Obviously, there's sites out there like Free Sound. You got to look at the rights to it, but you know, there's sites out there. But you know, it's time to get your Zoom recorders out. You know, it's time to start recording sounds off your phone. Car, you know, it was good while it lasted, didn't it? You know, it was good while it lasted. But I thought something like this might happen. You know, I thought something like, you know, it's going to get deep in the game. You're going to have big major label artists trying to say, oh, yeah, well, because I've used this sample, no one else can use it. And, you know, that's the thing, car. You know, a lot of producers like me, like, and big producers that are really, really in the game, like, big up Bolo, because he's the kind of inspiration for this. But it's just like, you know, you hear a sound and you know where it's from. You know where it's from in Splice. You have that sound yourself. You know, a lot of producers flip the same samples and just kind of make their own thing out of it. But, you know, I think it's the end of that era. Like, we're moving towards the end of that era. Cause I don't think, unless Splice can change and back it, because the thing is, I don't think them as a corporation can go against these major labels. I don't even think it's really their fault. You get me? Cause, you know, they're not going to be able to back it, because like they said with Bolo, like, they sent him a letter basically saying you can use this, you know, it's royalty free. But like, the major labels, they have more money, they have more resources to be able to fight these kind of claims, and I don't think people are going to be able to stand up in court with it. So yeah, so I'm going to keep reporting on this. I'm going to let people know, but from now on, you know, like, everything that I'm going to create, apart from maybe drums, but I'm even going to be making drums myself, is going to be completely organic. Because like, even with presets on synths, you know, producers get a bit about that, especially because you know, you might have an arpeggiator, you know, something like you press it and it plays loads of notes at once that like, you know, only sounds good in a certain key, you know, a certain BPM. And once it's been done, you know, does then that artist have the copyright? You know, does that mean that you can't use it? Like, you know, it's a grey area, but you will get sued. You know, if it does become a hit, like, they will sue you for it. Like, don't kid yourself, especially if they're not independent artists like me. I don't care, as long as you're not suing me, as long as you're not dissing me. You get what I'm saying? Or I have your video took down, but I'm not bothered. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't mind what you sample of me, as long as I've personally created it. Yeah, feel free, you know, just make sure you holler me in it, or try to get at me to tell me what you've used, bro. And like, I probably won't even want any royalties from it. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as it's not like a whole verse or something like that, you get me, or one of my beats. You know what I mean? But if you're using it for free, it is what it is. But, you know, I'm going to keep this video under 10 minutes, because I like uploaded them to TikTok and that. But yeah, it's a sad day. Like, I don't know what the out of this is going to be, but like I'm saying, I just think producers like me, we're just gonna have to start making original stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, the era's been over. It was good for me to learn, and I have made a lot of hits. Like, Be Lucky is one of my favorite songs, and that used to sample. But, you know, unless you're like really flipping these samples and pitch shifting them and making them your own, in it, I would just stay clear. You know, I would just stay clear. I'd avoid Tracklib as well, because they ain't future proofed and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a bit messy and stuff like that. But listen, let me know if this video was a W or an L. And listen, I'll see you in the next one. Keep your head up. 3, 2, 1.